Okay, so here we're actually we're not drinking today.
No,
so we're a
we're
little bit
not.
more coherent. So today we're kind of talking about nerd stuff, geek culture, pop culture-ish things.
Yeah. I don't know. What'd you guys hear about the new Star Wars stuff?
I haven't seen the new Star Wars movie.
Did you see that it's they held the rating on Rotten Tomatoes? It was frozen there at 86%.
Frozen 2?
No, it was frozen.
He's talking about Star Wars.
Star Wars was frozen. All the comments and reviews, it didn't affect the score from when the 30,000 reviews to 120,000 reviews. It was still at 86%, unmoved. That's impossible.
It's weird.
Impossible. Now they kind of unfroze it. They're letting things go down. It's down past 70% now.
Oh, I did hear one
I think
thing.
they're slowly.
So I did hear one thing about Disney talking about Luke Skywalker. They want to fix their image of Luke Skywalker and what happened. So they have proposed, with the help of Mark Hamill, they have proposed to make a Luke Skywalker between the years
Movie?
TV series.
They said I just read Lucasfilm is fixing Luke Skywalker and making it a cohesive 3 stories and his story.
So this is like the double-sided
There's
tape.
going to be an in between. There's going to be what was it? Rogue One. There's going to be a Rogue One in between.
Well, they said they don't know if it's going to be an actual like movies, but they know they're going to probably get something on like Disney Plus, like a TV show, series.
That's weird. I mean, you already ruined it.
I think they should let it die. Oh,
yeah.
You know what? In the words of Disney,
let it go.
Let it go.
Yeah, but right now you have the Mandalorian and everything else.
And even that's gone away.
That's ending too, and since that's ending, everyone's canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions.
Yeah, because
They went up like 25%
Yeah.
subscribers.
Exactly, because
Seriously.
people are like hey, it's about to end. I don't need to see the rest. I'll find it out. And they're already 25% have already canceled their Disney.
That's
It wasn't even good enough for them to even say, you know what? I'll keep Disney Plus.
Yeah, and watch the new Star Wars
Well, it's
Rise of
because-
Skywalker be on Disney Plus like next week.
Well, it's because everybody binge watched everything as soon as it came out.
Well, Mandalorian, it was coming. They did it right. They were letting it go like each episode
A week.
once a week,
Yeah.
because they know people were going to binge watch it the first week
And just
then
leave.
cancel.
Yeah.
Oh, and then spoil it online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know that right now at this benchmark they expected to be around like $1.5 billion with Rise of Skywalker? They're at $725 million.
You know.
And those are sad dollars.
And most of those are Disney. Disney bought out all of this stuff. So you have to think maybe $100 million in that is Disney. So Disney's only made $625 million.
Actually, explain.
And not even that. You have to calculate how much they did in advertising.
Well, did you hear that everybody was like, "Oh, Disney Plus is going to beat out everybody." But you know what's funny is everybody was like, you heard whispers of, "What about HBO?" And you're like, "What about HBO? Where's HBO coming from?" HBO, similar to what cable did, where you buy a subscription to cable and you get all these channels, right? And they're like, HBO's like banding together all the Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. And now HBO, it's all in one package. So you just buy HBO Plus and you get Netflix, Hulu, everything that's on everything. And you only have to pay one thing. Disney is out of the loop.
Disney goes,
HBO hit everybody.
motherfucker.
Yeah, so HBO already hit everybody up and everybody's
Because
on
I
board.
have Disney Plus and it comes with Hulu as well.
Yeah,
Because
they
Disney
buy-
actually owns
they
a
buy-
controlling
yeah.
interest, a stock interest in Hulu.
But
But-
it has more stock than
Mhm.
okay.
But Hulu still can go, "Oh, hey, we're on board." The only people who are not on board is Disney Plus
And actually,
and Apple.
Disney is scrounging for help Disney is running around. They're like a chicken with their head cut off. They're like, okay, wait, we thought we were going to be like huge and dominant. We bought all of this stuff, but then the only one who could ever contend with us is HBO.
But
Because
what's
you don't
funny is,
realize HBO owns so much.
But what I thought was funny is Disney was like, hey, I'm going to get on the bandwagon that was Netflix and Hulu. HBO is like, hey, I'm going to one up and go to the future of this instead of play catch up like everybody else is trying to in the streaming apps and stuff. HBO is like, I'm fixing it. We're going to create our own shit.
So what are they doing? So they're just basically going to have everything.
HBO is making like satellite, but on an app with everything.
It's
and you
basically
pay a subscription of what
it's
you want.
basically you remember.
So basically, they're paying for your subscription, and you're paying them for
No.
service.
It's basically like whenever you got satellite, like Dish TV.
Yeah.
And if you wanted a better thing, if you wanted the ESPN package, pay a little bit more. If you wanted Stars and you wanted HBO, you pay a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's all it is. Is HBO is bringing everybody back together and saying, by the way,
HBO
let's just go back to the usual normal.
Yeah, they basically make cable on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's on board and
Because everybody decided to go, oh, I'm going to have my own streaming service. I'm going to have mine. Everybody's branched out.
and
then they're like,
nobody
what the
wants
fuck?
Nobody wants to spend $15 here, $5 here.
Nobody wants
They
their
just
bank
want-
to say $11.99, $12.
Yeah. They want
just
one
for TV.
payment.
Yeah.
They want to consolidate it to one payment. So everybody's going to go like they're like, wait, I pay for Apple Plus, Amazon Prime, and I pay for Netflix, but yet I could just pay for HBO Plus and get all three of those.
Yeah, because sometimes I worry
Cancel,
more
cancel,
about
cancel.
multiple payments than worrying about just one single payment.
Right.
You get the one payment. It's
So,
like
and that's
$60. You're like, okay, that's all my
HBO
TV.
is being progressive, and what's Disney doing? Being
Disney's fingering their asshole. Saying, guys, I'm still relevant.
what else can we buy so we can put on our channel?
No,
So
they've
screw them.
been banned from buying any more film or any more TVs or anything. They've been blocked
For the
because
Monopoly
of
rule?
monopoly thing.
Yeah.
So now they're just fingering their asshole saying, we have Marvel's the only thing that's
Yep.
working.
Marvel's their only spank bank now.
Now let's go into Marvel. You know, Marvel has ruined cinema. Because they were so good, now nobody's going to go see a movie unless it's a fucking Marvel movie.
I didn't care for them. to be
But
honest.
But hold on.
That's the only thing that makes money in
That's
theaters
not
right now.
true. That's not true. I think it ruined cinema for at least 5 years, but that's going away because look how big of an impact Joker movie did when Joker movie was not a big Marvel fucking movie. It didn't even have one action sequence, okay? It was an artsy drama, but because it had the name Joker, it drew in crowds.
I think-
But then because Joaquin Phoenix, it drew a huge following, and now people want to see that kind of movies
I think
on the big
yeah, but
screen.
I
haven't
can tell you
even
this.
seen that movie.
Joker has ruined.
Why are you here?
Yeah, why are you here? I thought you were a fan. Joker has ruined DC though, because everybody's going to expect a DC movie to be as good as Joker, and
Yeah.
they were like, oh, by the way, Joker is not a part of the DC universe at all.
But now,
And then-
but,
now they're like,
no.
oh, oops.
But I read up that DC is trying to make that part of the DC universe because it was the largest rated R movie of all time.
Yeah, it beat
Box
everything.
office.
It beat Deadpool.
Joker
And
did?
it beat Logan too.
Yep. But no, Marvel. See, I'm tired of superhero movies. I haven't gone to see. I went to see Avengers and I went to see Spider-Man mainly because I have invested past relationship with
Right.
them. Now,
The Eternals, I don't give a crap.
anything.
No.
I don't care about the Eternals. I don't care about anything else that's coming up. Everybody's like, ooh, the next Black Panther movie is coming out. Ooh, the next
Black Widow? I don't
Black
care.
Widow. I don't care. That's a prequel. I don't give a fuck.
I
don't
already
care.
know that she's gonna be dead soon, so
Yeah,
I'm
I
good.
didn't care
anything-
with the
I'm
Star
sure
Wars.
she kicked ass before.
Yeah,
With the
but
Star
anything
Wars
in the
prequels,
past-
I didn't give a shit about the prequels.
I never went to
didn't
go.
care.
I never went to go see Captain Marvel because it was a prequel to everything.
I
It
wanted to
already
s-
happened. I don't care. It
Yeah.
didn't change anything.
Now, moving on. So
That's
the
part of the
biggest.
reason why I haven't seen Joker either, because I just stopped going to superhero movies or any DC movies.
Now, see, the biggest box office failure at this moment is Cats. And
Yeah,
Box office failure?
Wait,
biggest box office failure. It made, I think it's only made $39 million out of a over $100 million budget.
opening weekend, it only made $8 million.
What the frick?
No, 6.6.
There you go. Opening weekend didn't make nothing. So, and
That's
everybody
literally
said,
almost as much as Tommy Wiseau's movie, The Room.
yeah, that is the entire budget.
Yeah.
But and so it was so bad. Apparently, they rushed it out so it would be in the Oscars. It was so bad that they actually pulled it out of the Oscars. The executive producer.
They pull their entry out.
Yeah, they're like, this ain't gonna. Nope.
Yikes.
Why? Well, let's go around. Why do you think it failed? There's so many things online that says this is why it failed, or this is why it failed. This is why. What? Let's go around. Why do you think it
Have
failed?
seen it yet?
No.
Okay.
But I saw the trailer.
No,
And everybody was so freaked out about the trailer. I looked up a bunch of reviews, and they said these 5 things are the things that are bad with it. I looked up a bunch of reviews, and they constantly said these things are the bad things
And
about
it's
it.
mostly
One,
about
it looked weird.
that
The
how it
characters
looks.
look weird.
But my argument about that is, where was that argument when Avatar came out? They look
Avatar,
weird.
but Cats since the 80s looked the same. It didn't look any different to me.
It just looks like they blended the costumes onto their body.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
people insulted the CGI, which what's funny is, Michael, you said the CGI looked great.
It did.
Yeah, it looked good. I didn't have a problem with it. Now,
it looked like they used that new facial reading technology where it's actually the actor's face
Yeah.
in CGI
Yeah.
form.
yeah,
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool because you're like, okay, I get to know who it is. Which I was all on board. It's just I think for me it's just a story I just didn't give a shit about. I've watched the play. I don't care to see it
right.
anymore.
And that's another one of the thing that people are complaining is the story sucked. Yeah, the story sucked back then.
It's Cats.
It's no different. There is no difference. And somebody argued that, well, the looks of it made my daughter scared my daughter.
Well, you know what?
It-
She should grow the fuck up. It's 20 now. You should show her some gore.
Well,
Show her Michael Myers movie.
I'm just curious. Is like,
Give
did
her
you
real nightmares.
show her what it looked like back in the 80s, and they even made a film of the play in the 90s. Show her that and tell me if that doesn't
I
give
mean,
her.
the
kids.
movie has a very Moulin Rouge feel to me.
It did.
And there's nothing. That's why it has that whole fantasy, bright colored CGI look to it as well.
And I didn't have a problem with
Yeah.
that.
I don't get the complaint of my kid was scared of it though, because to me that equates to like a kid being afraid of a clown.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's,
Oh,
it's just like,
I'm afraid of the clown promotional of it. Okay. That's what his daughter said.
But my daughter just asked Santa for an It toy this Christmas, and she got one. And she's not crying.
So, what are your predictions for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie?
Oh, it's gonna bomb.
Well,
You
it's
think
gonna.
so?
I think it's gonna bomb, but
I still wanna
it
see
better not. It better not
I have high hopes for it.
because what everybody said, everybody bashed it for looking like crap. They spend an extra $35 million to change it to make the fans happy. If it bombs, that means we have no voice as fans, and they're not going to listen to us ever again.
I think
Yeah.
just before Christmas, the studio shut down, went out of business.
The CGI studio.
Just the CGI studio?
Yes, the CGI studio went out of business.
Dang.
Not the distribution company, or else they wouldn't distribute it.
Right. I'm not worried about the production company went out of business.
Oh no, just the CGI company. The company that made the movie did not go out of business.
Okay.
The CGI company that made the CGI that even were given the $35 million to make it, they went out of business because nobody else wanted to hire them because of that movie.
Okay. Gotcha.
Probably because they didn't. They're like, well, that CGI looked like crap. Well, look at us now. What? And then by the time they're like, look at us now. By the time the trailer came out, they were already fired.
Even then, they're like, come on, please give us a job.
Yeah, but then again, okay, because of Marvel movies, there's so many CGI companies that have popped up lately that there's not enough business to like keep them all in business.
Oh, and what's funny is, see, here's how I know that. I know that firsthand. I actually got hit up on LinkedIn for the production company that did the CGI for the new Dora Explorer movie. Hit me up and said, "Hey, do you want? We want to hire you to do rotoscoping for our company." And I said, "I am not living on rotoscoping. I'm sorry, I'm not doing that." And it's an Australian-based company, but that's the thing, is everybody is, because of Marvel, everybody is doing the CGI. They made 400 plus thousand more CGI companies out there, and there's all these people doing all these little things for all these big movies, but then they don't have any other jobs.
Yeah,
and so now CGI is a dime a dozen. You can hire someone who literally should be getting paid $6,000-7,000 a second of footage for literally, like, you can get them. Come on, guy, I'll give you a blowjob if you just or buy me a burger, please. I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's almost like they're starving artists now.
Yeah.
Editing used to be minimum $30 an hour. Okay, that was bare bones. That was the cheapest that you could find. That was freelance, and now the CGI department used to be minimum bare bones $100 an hour.
No. Actually, the CGI department, the way you calculated it is per second of footage was going to cost around $1,700. Now that has dropped so low that there is no market minimum.
Oh wow! So yeah, nobody can. There's not enough draw. How many big CGI movies are coming out lately? You maybe have 15, 20 a year, the big CGI movies. Other than that, no. Well, if you disperse 4,000 companies that have CGI by 20 movies, you don't have enough money to keep them in business at all.
But why there was such a huge spike and then such a huge decline is because, see, Marvel had that agenda. They like, oh, we need to put out these 16 movies in these 10-year span to do this. That's a lot of movies to do real quick. So Marvel did that and had to they actually created all these other companies because they needed all of that. Well, now they're going to slow down because they technically ended their little thing. They finished their little run, and so they're slowing down. And now everybody's like, well, what do we do now? We thought you were going to keep this up, damn it. So, everybody's like,
Well, same thing with Star Wars. Everybody's like, oh, they're coming out with a Star Wars every year. They expected to have all this CGI. And they're like, we're going to hold off on Star Wars for a while. Well, now all the companies with CGI are like, well, damn it.
Isn't there talk about Star Wars being resurrected and being directed by the
Jon Favreau?
Yeah.
There is a word that Favreau is going to start his own Star Wars stuff, but
I think Star Wars trilogy.
I think it's not going to be a film. There was speculation it's going to be a Disney Plus.
They also speculated that they know that there's been talks of making a KOTOR movie, Knights of the Old Republic TV.
I'm down.
TV series.
I
not series. Trilogy.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Favreau is going to touch that.
Hey, I enjoyed that. If they have my character, I'm just saying, if they have my character, I never used the plasma. I never used the laser guns.
And
I used grenades.
Became a lesbian.
And that's it. And I became a lesbian. Okay.
There we go. Progressive Star Wars people.
Yeah, because they hid the progressive Star Wars. There is a lesbian kiss in the very very background in one scene of the new
Rise
Star Wars.
of Skywalker. Yeah.
In the new Star Wars, there's a lesbian kiss way back in the back, and they're like, oh, well, Disney's being progressive now.
Screw that. Michael's character in KOTOR was lesbian.
Let's talk about somebody that did something right. Netflix original series The Witcher.
I haven't watched that yet.
I've seen.
I've heard so much good things about The Witcher, but the only problem with it is I was never a fan of the series. So I
gaming
watched
series.
I watched the first 3 episodes. And I was like, this is cool, this is good, but I don't know how accurate this is. I don't know the accuracy.
The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the last release of the video game, is competing with the modern day AAA titles right now. It's like number 3 on Steam.
Yes, I hear The Witcher 3 has such a fan following. It's unheard of.
It also has a
was-
huge mod following too. I've seen that. They've expanded the mod. I think the mod is bigger than ever. Like, I think they said if you take like all of these big things like GTA 5 and all that stuff and you put them all together, it's not even half the size of what the new mods have added to that game.
The map size of Witcher 3 is 1,000 times bigger than any other map in any other game.
Really?
Yeah.
Modded.
Well, I'm
Not base one. The base one was not that big.
No, well, it was more like it was still the biggest map
Well,
of all time.
Even their
But now it's
even their
bigger.
DLC for that game is a fucking huge ass map.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but
I think it was double the size of the original map. The DLCs.
See, I'm not. I played The Witcher 2. I played it for an hour, and I just didn't like the play style. It reminded me of other games that did it better, and I wasn't a
They
fan.
changed the playstyle.
Well, I was either play Witcher 2 or play Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and I was way into Arkham City. you couldn't get me away from Arkham City.
There's a big choice there.
if I'm not mistaken, the CD Projekt Red, the dev team that does The Witcher, I'm pretty sure they're pretty heavily involved with the Netflix series.
Yeah,
See, that's great from a story standpoint.
And from what I've seen, I've seen long extended clips of it. It looks cool. It has a cool style. It looks like it's very dark and moody.
You know what it kind of reminds me of, the style though? It kind of reminds me if somebody were to like be the artistic comic book artistic comic book artist mixed with like the style of like a Game of Thrones kind of world, and put those two together and you have this weird little love child, and that's what you get. So you have this kind of like almost gothic artistic comic book artistic kind of feel to it. It's actually really cool. I like.
What I heard about it is because of all the controversy where I forget what big review company did this, but they actually came out in the review and said,
"Oh, it's someone from New York. It's someone from New York."
We skimmed through the first 2 episodes, didn't like it, so rated it a 0 out of 10.
Really?
And they actually came out and said, we didn't really watch this. We just skimmed it and we thought it was crap. And they rated it a 0. And now that company has had a huge hit.
Didn't the producer say?
The producer called them out on it, and now, well, he even said that the true fans, people who actually stuck through and watched the entire thing and gave their critical review about it, he goes, "I applaud you, thank you." But they also mentioned that the story, and there are plot holes. They mentioned that there are plot holes throughout the whole episode.
But you know what? That should be
but
a
it comes
series.
together at the end, and it has a big payoff.
Well,
They
see,
said-
I don't know if that series is supposed to be just a one season series, but you expect that in a series. There should be plot holes, because if you want a season 2, solve those plot holes.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a fucking movie, people.
And the story of The Witcher 3 was full of plot holes that came together in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the source material. It's very honoring the source material. Well, I'm trying to think of a word.
They give you mystery and intrigue. Like, why don't I know that?
Right.
Yeah.
And you know it's there because they hint all about it. It's not like the Lost, where we actually saw the answer. And then
the
everybody's
mystery
like,
box. Lost with their mystery box. Listen, there's a mystery box. There's always going to be a mystery that we're gonna solve later. That's always gonna keep that intrigue. Then at the end of all of Lost, it's like, by the way, what was the fucking answer, you dumb shits? There was none. Ha! Mystery box is gone. It's like if you were a treasure hunter and you get there and the treasure was already taken and there was a little note that said, ha!
That's what I'm hoping for.
But you found it. Good job, guy.
I'd feel like shit if I found a note like that.
You're going through all this stuff. It's taking your whole life.
My wife left me.
You're 70 years
It's
old.
just a fortune cookie.
Yeah. It says good things may come.
Good fortune is your way.
You found D.B. Cooper's treasure, and it was just, good job.
It was a lunch pail. Yeah. Which
So, how'd you think about the new Ghostbusters trailer?
Oh well, yeah. What did we think about Ghostbusters?
What was your thoughts on that?
I thought. Excuse my hand. I thought it was exciting. Since it stars one of the cool kids from Stranger Things, and it has a lot of nostalgia to it, but it has a lot of things that kind of like make you go, oh, I remember them talking about that. Like when you were saying, he mentioned they put a mortgage on a farmhouse. I was like, oh, well, look at that.
That's the farmhouse.
I'm hoping this is like one of those stories where they're like, let's just sweep the one about the girls under the rug. And
Well, before we go on, Zach, were you ever a fan of the originals?
A little bit.
Did you watch the new trailer?
Oh, no, I haven't. I didn't even know they're making a new one.
You didn't see the new trailer? Okay, we're pausing this, showing you the new trailer.
I was never a huge fan of Ghostbusters, though.
Now keep in mind, before you watch this trailer, now they did say all of the original cast, the surviving original cast, are coming back for this.
Except Harold Ramis, he's dead.
Yeah, Harold Ramis died.
So you have Bill Murray and everyone
Of course
else.
you
Yeah.
can.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd.
So how? I'm really interested, and we'll keep this rolling, just to get. We'll just cut it. I want to hear your initial reaction to this after this is done.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Honestly, my mom won't say it.
it'd be
but
dope to
really
have.
And the only thing that's left in our name is this creepy old farmhouse our grandfather left us in the middle of nowhere. Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value?
Is this supposed to... Is that like
What is that?
in the past or something?
Somehow, a town that isn't anywhere near a tectonic plate, that has no fault lines, no fracking, no loud music even, is shaking on a daily basis.
Hey, remember that one summer we died under a table?
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap? There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s? It's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom.
Okay.
My grandfather died. My mom says we're just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Call it fate. Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason. Come on, darling.
It has a gunner seat?
Zach, initial reaction.
If it's about the kids, I'm not gonna watch it.
So here's the thing.
He's not a fan.
It is about the kids of the offspring of Spangler,
Egon.
Egon. It's a passing of the torch, but there is all of this information that says all of the original Ghostbusters come back. In fact, all the original cast comes back, not as cameos. So much so that they actually had to shoot for like 2 months on thing. So that's not a cameo. It's not a daily cameo for these people. Everybody had to come back. So, of course, the trailer right now is not going to, because everybody wants to know. I want to see Dan Aykroyd. I want to see Bill Murray. I want to see. Nobody's going to see that, so they're not going to show it yet. But right now, they're just showing you the new family that's going to be taking up the mantle. It's going to be a passing of the torch. But I'm actually, to me, I'm okay with that, because you want to pass the torch and keep this on. But they honor the original people, just like you should. You honor the original stories, the original crew, and you almost get this nostalgia where you're like, oh.
Well, see,
I feel like the kids are too young compared to their age, to like Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
It could be smart though, because now they don't have to worry about if they do 3 of these damn movies. It doesn't become, oh look, 30 years down the line you don't do a Ghostbusters 3. You have to do one when they're dead.
Yeah.
When one of them died. So I think it might be a smart choice. Using the kids, because they'll grow up, and guess what? 20 years from now, they're only going to be in their 30s. So we could be okay. But Paul Rudd is going to become a Ghostbuster. So you do have the older age people who are in their 40s joining in, and he is more of the technical mind. I mean, he's a seismologist.
So he's about to trump Robert Downey Jr. because now he's the Avenger. Now he's a Ghostbuster.
Oh, you know what? I would say honestly that to me, becoming a Ghostbuster, I think that's more iconic right now than, hey, look, you were Iron Man for the last 15 years? You were Iron Man for the last 15 years. This is 40 years ago of fans.
Now, would you think that this movie is in response to the last reboot?
This movie, yes and no, because this movie has been in talks before Egon died. Jason Reitman was talking to him about this script.
No, well, let's talk about
and
this
he
real
died
quick.
before the release.
So I don't think you know who Jason Reitman is. Ivan Reitman helped co-write and direct the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2 with Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd.
Jason Reitman
was a kid during that, and so he was the first fan of Ghostbusters ever. He wanted to make a Ghostbusters movie his entire life. When he was growing up, he actually had ideas and everything, and he would write them out. He was the biggest Ghostbusters fan ever.
So it's kind of like almost like a Heath Ledger thing going on.
Almost, where Heath Ledger always wrote fan fiction of the Joker and wanted to be the Joker. Yes, and Jason Reitman wrote and directed this movie. So this is from a diehard fan. Wrote this, not someone who's just hoping to do the fan thing, or this a diehard fan wrote this.
Now, one thing that was interesting to me is, which people are like, why did they do this? Because they did this, it makes me excited for how epic this movie can get. Because you see the characters, you see the kids, but when he starts saying, when you start hearing Bill Murray singing the song that he was singing in the first movie, where he says, call it fate, call it luck, call it karma. I think everything happens for a reason, Ray. That means that the first 2 movies happened for a reason and is building to this scenario right here. So every movie has built and is culminating to this big moment.
So this is the Ghostbusters endgame.
This is the end game of Ghostbusters.
But then one thing that I do know,
bringing everybody together.
Yeah, and that's what that little part was symbolizing. Now, to me, if it doesn't deliver, I'd have a problem.
I
with
will
that.
say this one thing about most cinema that's been coming out lately in this past couple of years is I hate how everyone's mindset is getting so much bigger and bigger, universal per se, because every hero in every movie has to do something universally great and big moment. Before, it was like the hero of the movie could be just like your average freaking savior of the neighborhood.
Yeah, and now everybody's got to be John Wick.
You gotta save the universe to be
Yeah.
huge.
Well, now see, but here's real quick before we get so far off topic. One thing I want to stress is, so how did everybody feel? Just so we understand how we feel about Ghostbusters. What did you feel about them? Not necessarily how the movie turned out, but that they made a Ghostbusters in 2016. How did you guys? Were you guys okay with? Okay, they were just going to reboot a franchise. That's fine. To me, let me say mine first. Me, I didn't care. If it didn't have the original people, I didn't care. I was like, okay, they were gonna do that anyways. Hollywood is doing that shit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care. I wasn't going to go see it because I didn't have an interest to see it. It had nothing to do with the women thing. It had nothing to do with any of that. I just didn't have an interest to go see a reboot of Ghostbusters.
Another Hollywood reboot without the original cast.
Because, well, I had the Ghostbusters video game that came out in 2009, which was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they rebooted that as well, or they remastered that, and now I have it for, 2019, and it was freaking awesome as well. It was the same thing.
Your thoughts?
But what?
What did you think about
2016
of them rebooting?
Didn't care.
So you were about on the same lines. It
Well,
just happened. Okay.
For me, I didn't care. I wanted to see the trailer. The trailer didn't sell it to me. I didn't want to see it. When I did see it, it didn't look as bad as the trailer did. I had lots of little gripes with it, but overall, I was like, okay, I could show my child this, but the problem is there certain little parts made me go, I can't show my child this. I'm not going to show him a 5-minute extended scene of somebody flipping the bird.
Right.
It's like, that's not funny to me for a child to be watching this. Stuff like that. Other than that, it was a decent, everybody was like, oh, the saturation on the colors, and it made it look cartoony and stuff. I was like, I applaud them. You had a different
that's
view.
where people go like super art critique, where like even if they go to a museum of art and see something that's a famous painting, those people look for that small, minute detail to complain about and make it spilt milk.
Right.
And my thing about the Ghostbusters 2016 reboot is, I just didn't want to go pay to see it because I saw it was not because it was all female, but because it was an all SNL cast. So to me, I just knew it was going to be a giant skit, and I felt like they were taking a giant shit on
It was almost like a
something that-
parody.
Yeah, it was literally, yeah, exactly, good one. It felt like they were taking a giant shit on something great. It was like as if they made the Jurassic World movie a parody.
What's up, Zach?
I just thought about something in the new one. The kid specifically says, my grandfather died, we came here to clean up his place.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking that Bill Murray and all them are the grandparents of these kids.
No,
Well-
my grandfather died, that was Egon's.
Egon's grandson.
Yeah, because it said Spangler on the outfit,
Yeah.
and that's
he's got
Egon.
glasses.
And
Incredible.
and it was
But I'm saying, like, generation-wise, they would be grandparents.
right. They would
Yeah.
be the grandparents.
Yeah.
So like they said, that's why Paul Rudd was like, "What? Your dad never told you about any of this?" And she was like, "It's only my mom."
Okay.
So something happened.
That makes a little more sense. I was thinking that they were, like, 60-year-old, 70-year-old Bill Murray and all them are supposed to be the parents. of
No,
these
no,
15-year-old,
no.
12-year-old
And
kids.
but now, actually, one thing that I actually am looking forward to is I like that everybody's coming back. Everything. Sigourney Weaver did say that Rick Moranis might come out of retirement just for this movie, and she was talking about that, and I'm actually super excited to see Rick Moranis on screen again after his 25
Almost,
years
30 years.
hiatus because of his tragedy that happened.
What happened with that?
His wife died.
His wife died, and he had to raise his kids alone. So he did.
So he just stopped doing movies, period?
Yep.
He stopped doing it for a little while, and then he just said, I just didn't miss it.
So
enough.
guys, I want to talk about what I consider the biggest movie, and it will top all box offices in all time. That's coming out next year.
Oh wait, before we do that, one real quick.
Okay.
Did you know one of the things that somebody said? I saw a little comment on this trailer, and somebody said, "This does not look like a Ghostbusters movie. Ghostbusters was all about comedy. It was like Stripes, but with ghosts." Here's where they're wrong. You watch the original Ghostbusters trailer, it is not a huge comedic trailer. It has drama. It makes it look scary, and it shows some comedy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it makes it look kind of like a.
It
scary
is a
movie.
serious thing. And then they said Stripes, but with ghosts. And Stripes is not for kids. Stripes was a rated R movie. Ghostbusters and had nudity and everything. Ghostbusters 1 was actually, you kids could watch it. Kids could watch it and enjoy it.
My 5-year-old daughter is a big fan of the original Ghostbusters more than the 2016 version.
Yeah, and that's where I think people don't understand that this movie actually, if you look at the original, the way the original was kind of set up, you have that emotional stuff, but then you also have those little jokes splintered throughout there that says, by the way, this is going to have comedy.
Back in the day, that was an epic movie back then. It came out in 82, 84.
Yeah.
That was an epic movie back then.
Well, that's exactly.
Nowadays we have colorizing, we have better, like different camera angles, we have different cameras we can use and stuff. We can make the epic feel explode more.
But
that's what we're doing.
But see, that reverts back to my point when I say everyone's horizon is getting more broader, because that's why they're complaining, because back in the day, that was its epicness. That was cinema at its best, you know?
Yeah.
Now we've anteed up the game, so everything has to be.
It's got to look.
This
like
small car explosion has to turn into a giant nuke explosion.
Right.
You know,
But
everything has to be big.
But we're going into now.
Okay.
What is what do you think is going to be the largest cinema?
The
experience?
largest cinema experience of all time.
Con Air 3.
What happened to 2?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Last bunny.
It doesn't matter.
Why
Trilogies
did
make
you put
more
the
money.
bunny back in the
It doesn't matter. No, King Kong versus Godzilla is going to be the biggest movie. And
so?
you know what? It was supposed to come out in 2 months, but they pushed it 8 months. And people are like, ooh, there's a problem there. You know why? The CEO of, I believe, Warner Brothers said, okay.
Legendary.
No, it was Warner Brothers. It
Oh,
was
the
Legendary
actual
Pictures.
distribution company?
Yeah.
And not the
CEO of
production
Warner
company.
Brothers said, hey, all right, we released Godzilla the newest Godzilla, King of the Monsters. And they go, people claim that it was a little too dark, and that the characters weren't as fun as, say, like the Kong Skull Island movie and stuff like that. They're like, we heard you. So, we're going to take 8 months to make sure we make not just an A+ movie, but the best fucking movie you've ever seen, because these two monsters are the biggest
rival.
Well, they're the biggest monster cinema franchises of all time. King Kong came
American.
out
50s.
America.
No, it came out in the 30s.
Yeah,
30s?
King Kong
Oh, yeah.
was U.S. Okay, Godzilla came out in the 50s. Japan, Asia. Now you have the two longest, biggest horror movie, big monster
Sci-fi,
movies, sci-fi things battling. He goes, it has to be the best fucking movie you've ever seen. So we're gonna take 8 months to polish it, to make it that amazing.
Now but also if you get, you look at if it only costs $1 to get into the movie theater in Asia, and you get the whole population there to go see it for $1 each, that's over $2.5 billion.
If you get half the population of Japan, which Japanese are gonna want to see it. Who wins?
in China and stuff
But
like
if
that,
you
yeah.
get half the population of just Japan alone, and they only pay $1, it is the highest grossing movie of all time. That's it. Now
America only has
now,
I think we only have 400 million people in America.
They have like 1.2 billion people there.
Maybe more than that. Yeah.
More, probably more than that, and that's just in Japan.
I know
Okay.
when I'm playing the disease game and I have to have that plague that goes around and killing everybody. I always start in China.
Yeah. So
I get 1.5 billion killed in China.
That
instantly.
movie, they are making sure it's the best movie it can be.
The original King Kong vs. Godzilla came out in 1962,
Yeah.
and
that movie was the highest grossing movie of all time
it
until
actually
90s.
bombed in the box office.
Not here. In
Yes.
Japan, it was the
In
highest
Japan,
grossing movie.
yes, it made 430 million yen.
And that was the highest grossing movie of all time until 1990 something.
Yeah, and well, I just think it's crazy because around 1962, ticket prices were 69 cents.
Yeah, with
which is
inflation.
equivalent to like $4 right now.
With
Oh,
inflation.
ticket prices
Yeah.
right now.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was 69 cents. So back then, 69
so it's like
cents
$4
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So
With
that's like $1 cinema now.
Yeah,
if you
with
say-
inflation right now, it rivals a Marvel movie coming
Yeah.
out. It
Yeah.
rivals Avengers Endgame.
If it doesn't bank hardcore like trumps everything, because like literally, like I said, 1962, the last time they made its film, that's a big comeback.
Yeah.
So it better have a big
And
punch.
right now, the new Godzilla, unlike all the other times America has tried to do something from Japan, it is a huge hit for over there in Japan and China. The new Godzilla stuff. They're excited about it. I have on Twitter, I follow a lot of it. I get kaiju news all the time, right? And they are going nuts with their merchandise. They have whole stores being built with Godzilla in front of it, excited for this new movie. It's like they're going nuts about this new movie.
Let's talk about something that I'm excited about.
What's that?
So
Hey, you're not getting the new SpongeBob underwear anymore, are you?
they finally released promotional pictures for Bill and Ted.
Oh really?
Yeah. Bill and
new
Ted
Bill
3.
and Ted.
Yes.
New Bill and Ted.
And
Oh my God, they look old.
yeah. But I'm excited to see where they go because it's like they still have that phone booth.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well, keep in mind, in the second one, they didn't have a phone booth, so they've got to be going back in time. Phone booth only went
Yeah,
back
because
in time.
they just the first one was the phone booth.
The second one he went to hell.
It
Yeah, second
started.
one they
It
went to
started
hell.
with the phone booth, but then they died,
Mhm.
and they were trying to get back to being
Yeah.
alive again.
So it wasn't a huge deal with the phone booth. So what they're using the phone booth for, I have no idea.
Yeah,
It's going to be interesting.
I hope they just don't. I really hope it's just not a Dumb and Dumber 2.
Oh yeah. I don't think
They
it
look
will
like
be.
perverts.
Unless we can't take Keanu Reeves seriously playing that character.
Well, here's the.
I think I
actually-
can.
Playing so many serious roles.
No, you know what? I think
That's
we
true.
I think we
That's
can.
true.
But you know what? I think Keanu is such a big name right now. I don't think Keanu would take it if it was really crap.
I saw the on Reddit they he posted a thank you because it was because of the fans wanted it so much that he goes, we're filming it right now, and he goes, and we wouldn't be here doing this again without the fans screaming, we want another. And they were excited about 50-year-old Bill and Ted.
I hope it's like them in the future when they were like making Wild Stallions or something.
It brings back something that was
I hope
only-
they still can't play the guitar.
the thing about it is it brings back something that was only in the 80s and early 90s. The comedy of the surfer dude. Okay? The speech of the surfer dude. I miss that
The
jokes.
lingo.
I miss like say
Fast Times.
Well take what was
great,
it?
man. Or
Like
whatever.
take the producers, right? When the producers first came out, they made Hitler speak like "sup, bro," and and it's like that was hilarious back then. Now, when the producers came out, they made him flamboyantly gay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, it didn't work for me. It didn't work as well as "sup, bro," and everything.
Man, what are you saying? We're doing all that? Man, no.
Yeah, I wanted
like
that.
that.
I love that comedy, and I hope they bring that back. I miss those comedy of the surfer dude.
I just hope that it doesn't become a dude, where's my car?
Oh God, no.
Eh,
Dude, where's my phone booth?
Yeah. It's like,
Dude,
Where's your phone booth?
Now, to be honest, I would watch older version of Dude, Where's My Car? Like Sean William Scott and fucking Ashton Kutcher
Being
is
old.
60 years old.
Saying, "Where's your
dude,
car?"
Dude,
Sweet.
where's my car?
Dude,
Shibby, sweet, dude, and stuff.
What's mine say?
Yeah, dude, you can just see him, dude. You got another one of those. What is? I can't even think of old people terms.
Alzheimer's?
I kind of hope that Keanu Reeves has to like pull. I can't remember his name. The guy that nobody remembers.
Oh, right.
Something?
I hope he has to like pull him out of a slump in the movie and be like, "Come on, dude." I hope we see him do like a major character arc of being down in the dumps and then going back to his original self.
Now,
I'm
here's
just
the thing
curious
that bothers
because
me, though.
they ended the second one where they were rock gods.
They left,
Mhm.
we got so big, and then came
Yeah.
back, and then they were like, then they actually played the music, and you're like, oh, they actually know how to play.
Yeah, they learned how to play. How are they gonna fix all that and make them the crappy has-beens that they are? I want to see that. How are they gonna do that? And what haven't they done? They've went through time. They fought death with board games. they went
married-
through hell.
They married princesses.
They married princesses. They fought like the evil versions of themselves.
They gave Death a wedgie.
They went to heaven. They went to hell.
Now, here's my worry. So, they've failed several times. They've failed with, look at Dumb and Dumber 2. You know, you bring back these old nostalgic people that you're like, oh, I would love their characters, and then it's just a piss poor story. I mean, the actors were playing it to their hearts, you know, as best as they could, but it's just like, oh, it's a piss poor story.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have certain reboots that worked so well. Like, look at Ash vs. Evil Dead. I mean,
The first season.
the first season was amazing.
And
I bought the
Then
season.
halfway through the second season, then I was like, done.
it just kind of got
I was
old.
done.
But that's what I'm saying is that bringing back that old character worked. So there's some instances that it works bringing back these old characters into a good story. But that's what I'm afraid of, is bringing back these old characters into a shitty story.
Now, I do have a thing.
If it bombs, will it be worth it?
But I don't think Keanu would do it unless he knew for sure this was it. This is a good
Yeah, I think Keanu, he has so much pull now. I think he would go, okay, until he was happy with the script.
Yeah,
But then
because-
again,
After John Wick, I don't think he would agree to reading something and saying, "Nah."
Oh,
this
No,
is
but
not
you
how
know,
it
but
is."
here's the thing. Here's what I
'Cause
worry
he
about.
enjoyed that role. That
No,
was
no,
one of his favorite roles.
But you also have to look at
John
this.
Wick
Here's
4
what I worry about.
and the new Matrix 4 is coming out the exact same month.
Yeah, but here's what I worry about the most.
Which one's going to do better?
You don't know
Which one would
that
you go see?
you can read the movie, you could read the script, but you don't know if on the cutting room floor, if they edit the movie and it all turns to shit. You don't know if the editor or if they don't shoot it right and they have to cut this or cut that. You don't know if it could turn out to be a bad movie. It's always a gamble. You know, a lot of times you'll hear everybody say, oh, well, the original version I had written was a great movie, but then the editors and then the studio fucked it up and it's a terrible movie.
Those are
You know, so
wishy-washy excuses.
that's what I worry about.
Speaking of that, I want to 2 points. They're trying to release the J.J. Abrams cut of Rise of Skywalker right now.
Did they give him the footage to recut or something?
And he goes, there's talk of it might be starting to be released. And then another thing is, by the way, they're making a Fight Club with all girls.
What?
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 But they don't realize that Fight Club wasn't about fighting. It
No,
wasn't,
it wasn't.
people fighting. You had one fight scene in the entire movie,
like
but
two
that,
It
times
wasn't
they
even
fought.
a guy fighting somebody.
No.
He was kicking his own ass.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's like they don't understand what Fight Club is.
If they put Aubrey Plaza in it playing Brad Pitt's character, I might be down with that.
I see that. That would be
Yes.
cool.
Yeah.
But you already know the
She's-
story.
Aubrey Plaza has played a Brad Pitt character in 12 Monkeys. And no, it wasn't 12 Monkeys.
12.
I
mean, hey, I would
there's
be.
another female actor that did 12 Monkeys as a Brad and she did Brad Pitt's character and did awesome at it.
I'd still
You
say
know-
Aubrey Plaza is really good.
To
at
be
being
honest,
weird.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I think what really made Brad Pitt who he is today was his role in Fight Club. His role in Fight Club made him not just the dumb blonde-haired guy.
I'm not the stoner anymore.
He actually was this charismatic, he was the cool dude, but at the same time he had to be charismatic, but also crazy. And he had to be insane and have that stuff.
The whole point of it is, hey, look, it's not about the Fight Club, and I guarantee it's going to be about fighting. It's not about the Fight Club. It was about creating an outlet of creating a cult that brainwashed people in doing what he wanted. That's it. It wasn't about the Fight Club. The Fight Club was the outlet. That was the almanac of the Back to the Future series. That was the catalyst for everything.
I get people wanting to most feminist groups wanting to empower women and let women have a voice and equality at its best and stuff, but there's just some movies that you just don't mess with gender fight.
What's not cool is this. I am all fine. I want to go see movies that when Alien 2 came out, I wanted to see it.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome. Who cares what gender has nothing stance
Exactly.
whenever I want to go see a movie. It's if I want to see that movie, if that looks cool. If you want to make a Fight Club 2 or a Fight Club with all women, I've already seen the fucking movie Fight Club. I don't want to see it. I didn't want to see the new Ocean's 8. I didn't want to see that. I already watched 11 through 13, and I didn't even want to see 12 and
And I
13.
saw the original too.
I didn't want to. I saw Ocean's 11, the original, and I saw Ocean's 11 remake, and then I didn't want to see the other two.
And this one was this one was an all woman too, right?
Huh?
The newest one was an all female one, right?
Ocean's 8.
Yeah, it was the wife.
Yeah, it was all. It was like sister.
Oh god.
It was all female. I don't want to see that stuff. I didn't want to see a Charlie's Angels reboot. I don't want to see these things. Guess what? Charlie's Angels reboot that happened not too long ago, early 2000s. Guess what? Did great. Did great in the cinemas. It was a shitty movie, but it did great.
Well, it's because we didn't have. It showed us that, hey, look, there's action. Like, what was big right there? It was the John Woo movie. Not the John Woo movie. The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon movie, where people were doing the action and this. And same thing with The Matrix came out and had that flying action and stuff. Charlie's Angels said, hey, look, we have that type of action in this movie that came out in the early 2000s. And it had sexy girls. We're down. Men, everybody was down to see it because it was cool.
Then people thought, because Terminator, the new one, I don't even know what it's called. I watched it, but I don't even know what it's called.
Dark Fate.
The new one, it only failed because it had all women. No, it only failed because nobody gives a shit about Terminator anymore.
Yeah,
nobody cares.
The trailer to me sucked.
Well, but here
it looked dry.
It's not
it didn't
even
look
well,
like
they even said there were so many mixed things about that one. They even said the chick that plays Sarah Connor did horrible, and we completely disagree. I think she did great.
I think she did
For
better
someone
than everybody.
that hasn't been in films in almost more than a decade.
Linda Hamilton, I think.
Yeah, that's it, right. And it's not about all female casts. When they forcefully want to make a point that it's a women empowerment, that's when it's that's when you lose focus of the beauty of the film. But yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing: if it were on the flip side, let's go back to Alien. If they made Ridley a man, I would be pissed.
Me too.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, if they remade Alien and made it a man, that would piss me
Yeah.
off.
So the sad thing is, I like all these video games I play. If I can choose to be Ripley, yeah. If
Ridley Scott made the movie. I like how you said that. We all just agreed to it. Oh yeah.
We know.
Wait
we
a
know what
second.
you're talking about. But when I play video games, I want to play the badass girl kicking ass.
Yeah,
I want to play
even
that.
in Alien Isolation, it was Ripley's daughter.
Yeah, and
Right. And
it just
I
felt
loved
right that way.
I love that. It felt right. It was just they did Alien. If they made an Alien Isolation movie, I'd completely be on board with that.
I'll put it in perspective like this. It's like you don't change characters on genders just to make a point, because like that'd be like saying if they made a reboot of Friday the 13th and made Jason a woman. How would you feel?
Well, they did in the first one.
Jason was the killer was a woman.
Okay, bad reference. Okay, and they made Freddy Krueger a woman.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the problem that people are doing, because when they turn these around, like say the first Star Wars, The Force Awakens, that lady
Ray.
Kathleen Kennedy,
Yeah.
she actually went up to J.J. Abrams and said, "Make all the women better than all the men, and the men stupid."
And
What?
Whenever I heard that whenever Ray's around, if she's conscious, all the men suddenly turn into bumbling idiots.
Yes, and see, that's the thing is, that's what all the new Charlie's Angels. Every time there's a man, he's either bad or he's belittling women, in every scene. You can have women characters, but when you have an agenda and you want to bash men during that agenda,
Who wants
that's
to
not
watch
cool.
that?
Well, it's just like with Ghostbusters, the female one, they make Crims Hemsworth like the complete idiot.
Yeah. And,
Yeah, but you know what?
It's
I thought he was still pretty
Yeah,
charming.
exactly.
But they constantly don't do, if it's a woman, lately, woman starring role, they don't have a love interest. They don't have this. Men always have a love interest in a movie that has a female. Men always have a love interest, and the love interest is always a strong female.
You look. Oh, actually, look at. We have Ghostbusters right there. Look at the things. People talk about Ghostbusters, but you cannot talk about Ghostbusters without saying Sigourney Weaver,
Yeah.
or Annie Potts. People talk about them all the time about being in that.
And they weren't the damsels in distress. They
No.
were
Sigourney
strong.
Weaver was a very strong. She was a independent woman. She made lots of money because she was in a fucking huge high-rise thing. She
Yeah.
made lots of money. She
Hell
was
yeah.
in this one thing, yeah, and then.
She's also a major pothead.
But that was a huge plot point in the movie, and she was a huge driving force in the movie, and it wasn't like a dumbed down version of these people. These people were actually huge roles.
You don't have to make people dumb to just if everybody wants to go, oh, make a woman and make all the men bad and make all the men stupid. Why don't you make
can't we
people
just make
normal?
good stories?
Yeah, why don't you just make people normal and have a good story?
Look at the movie Sphere. Had the three main characters was
Sharon Stone,
Sharon Stone,
Lawrence Fish. No, it wasn't.
Samuel Jackson,
and then why can't I think of? I know his name is Norman in the movie.
Dustin Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman. So you have those three huge name stars, playing together. Neither one of them were stupid and the bumbling idiot.
Nobody was a stereotype.
No.
Nobody was. They played with their characters correctly. They didn't care about race. They didn't care about gender.
And they were all smart
Because
scientists
everything
and
now,
didn't get stupid.
Everything now has to have a point. Everything now has to tell somebody, oh, this is how we feel about this situation going on in the world. And everybody's just so oversensitive about being offended by the littlest things that they have to incorporate little things here and there.
You know
I
what
blame the
people?
internet.
But
Yeah.
you know what people don't
Definitely.
understand anymore? Here's way back when movies like, look at Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump came out. It did have a little bit of an agenda to tell people to care about this, do this, that. But guess what? You could overlook all of that and just enjoy a retard going through everything. Somebody with these mental problems going through this and making it and finding out that he is a kid, all that stuff.
I bet they never make a female version of Forrest Gump.
Right?
Oh God, if they did.
I bet you they'll try.
Oh, I just don't
And then
understand
blame it on
why.
the men for not. Well, and see, that's the problem I have is they're like the new Charlie's Angels that didn't do it. They said, hey, the only reason it bombed is because men didn't go see it. Well, no, a man doesn't want to go see it because you don't have. They didn't wear. They're sexy girls, but they didn't wear sexy outfits, and the action doesn't look awesome like anything else we've seen. It doesn't look like.
The trailer,
Hobbs
the
and
trailer just told me
something.
of the new Charlie's Angels just told me okay, they're three badasses who are obviously going to win in this movie. And they're very named actors that I know for a fact aren't going to be remotely close to topless in this movie.
Oh, but did you also know
but
that they actually, in advertising the movie, they said, "Oh, we don't want men to come into our movie."
Yeah, they said we don't want men to come see it
during,
because
like,
this
one of
is
those,
for the
like, interview
women.
things?
Well,
All
when
the
you-
advertisements.
when you alienate half your demographic, no, and then they complain that how come men didn't want to go see this movie? That's why it bombed. Men didn't go see it. You obviously told us not to come, and we didn't come.
You know what people don't
We
realize?
listened!
Yeah. What people
Isn't
don't
that what
realize
you
is
ladies
For
want?
once in our fucking
people
life,
don't realize
we're
half the
listening.
people who went to go see the original Charlie's Angels reboot that came out wanted to go see it because guess what? Cameron Diaz is sitting there dancing in her underwear for the first fucking 5 minutes of the movie.
Amen.
Or you have this going on. Guy, you were trying to give guys boners to go see it, but you were showing women kicking ass. That was fine. People wanted to go see that shit.
Yeah, the only reason I went to go see Sin City is to see her.
See Jessica Alba walk around
dancing.
in a cowboy.
Yeah, she had
As
a
a child,
striptease
that's-
dance,
that's
and I wanted
forever.
to see it. That's
Oh,
the only
Jesus.
reason I saw that
She
movie.
had an even bigger striptease dance in the second one.
Yeah,
Really?
but I'm just saying.
I think we can all agree that the only reboot that we need in this world is a reboot of reboot.
The TV show?
Yes.
Why would we need another reboot? Of
No,
reboot?
we need a reboot of Legends of the Hidden Temple.
I'd be
Bring
on
that
board.
back,
Wait,
guys.
They
They're
did
making
bring
that into a movie.
No, they
They
already
already
made that
did.
in a movie.
That's-
It was trash.
Oh, I didn't see the
I don't
movie.
I
wanna
saw
see that
it. It was
movie.
trash.
Well, it's not
I wanna
supposed to be a
see
movie.
the-
It's a
I wanna
fucking
see the
game show.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But
definitely.
I want Bob and Enzo
Every
and Megabyte and Hexadecimal.
my dream reboot would be Killer Clowns from Outer Space, or at least a sequel to it.
Reboot.
Yeah.
A sequel.
Yeah, a reboot would ruin the original.
No, I'd rather have like a sequel or something.
Okay. What movie should be rebooted? I think they should reboot movies that had a great premise but
They're
was
bad.
done shitty.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I have a completely different thing. I think somebody should become the next Rutger Hauer. I miss that character. I miss him, and I loved him in everything, and he was
The Hitcher.
not as good.
Bad
The
guy in
original, the Hitcher. He was also the bad guy in Blade Runner, the bad cyborg guy.
What is
Rutger
it?
Hauer. He's amazing in everything.
No,
he
I
does.
think honestly,
Rutger Hauer.
I think honestly, movies that need to be like rebooted, that had like terrible everything, but like cool idea.
Paycheck would be cool.
Paycheck had a. I like the idea behind Paycheck.
You know a movie they should reboot? Smart House.
I think we should stop letting you talk.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
Already?
Things that failed, but premise was okay. Yeah, there you go, right there. What had an interesting premise?
If we're gonna go that route,
Failed.
I'm gonna go Warriors of Virtue.
Shut up.
Kangaroos that jump around and kick ass.
Oh, God.
And
Shut up.
it's basically like Dinosaur City.
Well, if we're talking
Adventures in
kangaroos-
Dinosaur City. We need a reboot.
Yes.
No, I think, to be honest, what worked back in the day, and something that I'm a big fan of, is The Last Starfighter, and they were mentioning, oh, we might reboot that. I would be on board on seeing that because I enjoyed the story.
I like the idea of that. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, that.
and I think they could make it a lot better.
Would you consider Tank Girl for a reboot?
Tank Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Did I enjoy the premise of Tank Girl?
You know what? You
I
know
enjoyed
what I
the
would,
idea of Tank
You know what
Girl
I would get a
for watching
reboot
it
of?
now.
A Boy and His Dog. I would like a reboot of
Boy
that.
and His Dog.
Boy and His
Amazing
Dog.
movie.
Or like, you know what? I even consider like the new Mad Max is kind of like a reboot of that franchise, and I was okay with that. That was fine.
Oh yeah.
That was great. I liked that movie a lot. You know, I like some of these reboots that were working.
Oh, that was a good one. Definitely.
Like, you know, you have reboots.
I mean, hell,
You know-
Disney rebooted
What about The Fly?
The Fly.
They've rebooted The Fly
Did
4
they?
times.
Oh, did they?
The Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum one is a reboot.
Oh.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that was better than the original.
But to be honest, I think the original was great. I think The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum version,
I think that
was
was
awesome
good. Yeah.
as well. I think
Well, it's just like The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing is a reboot as well.
Oh.
It was a reboot of the
So,
movie.
so this reboot nonsense is nothing new.
No.
What's funny is people don't realize that in the 80s, all the movies that we were watching were reboots and recreations of movies from the 50s. Because those people who are old enough to do that, and now we're recreating everything from the 80s.
The movie Child's
It
Play
just
with
goes
Chucky.
every 30 years.
The movie Child's Play with Chucky was a reboot from a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. So every 30 years is reboots. So
We just
Every
look back.
story comes from a story.
So with the Outer Limits and the Twilight Zone inspiring so many things, we'll probably have like reboots of Black Mirror in the next 20 years or so.
Oh, definitely.
no, it'll take 30 years exactly.
No,
For them to reboot Black
They're
Mirror.
rebooting movies from '90s.
Yeah, but Black
And they
Mirror
started that in 2000.
Black Mirror is a recent show that just
No,
came
but
on.
that's just it. But that's what I'm saying is the shows that things that happened in the '90s, they're rebooting already. They rebooted Total Recall in 1993.
And they just
Yeah.
rebooted,
and they did that in 2007.
They just rebooted Are You Afraid of the Dark
Oh,
into a movie.
yeah, I want to see that.
Where's that?
It's on Netflix.
I want to
Really?
see that.
Yeah.
I gotta watch it now when I go home.
Actually a
Do they have the original?
it's a
I know
series.
it's original series.
But it's a series, but it's not like episodic. It's one through line story.
It's like one big movie.
Okay. Is it PG-13 styled?
Yeah.
Okay. See, even like Disney rebooted.
Yeah. So, thank you guys. That's our rant. I hope you enjoyed and learned a little something. Please check out more content if you are looking at more of our rants. And don't forget to check out Battle of the Worst.
But wait,